This is a site-specific piece for 52 Lime Street, an iconic building down in the financial district of London. They were very respectful. They didn't have any idea in mind. They said, "What would you do?" It's a very, very vertical, straight, hard edge building. It's actually been named the Scalpel already. There was no way I could compete with that, so I wanted to do something that would kind of go against the grain. It's round, it's got a lot of motion. I like gears and motors, and I've had 50 years of sports cars and motorcycles. So I like speed, I like danger. I like there to be an edge to the piece. It was too big to build in the United States. There would be no way to get it over here. If I had to put it in a container, it would be in 10 pieces, and it would be like building it twice.
The initial stages were all carried out by email. We did drawings, Joel sent drawings, Joel made a model. We just communicated over the internet.
With something this big, you have to really know what you're doing, and so I made some studies, and eventually we had enough to get started.
Sketches, and then a 3D printed maquette arrived, which we then remodeled and sent back to him. So we color-coded all the bits so we could talk over the internet and identify different pieces and make changes that were more practical to manufacture.
We were able to take these apart and then make patterns for the big piece, which is, 25 times as big. I would look at this I have little scaly figures. Is this big enough? Is it too small? What's it like when I move around it? And get a sense of the relationship between the people in the plaza and the sculpture. I always leave the welds on my pieces. I want the piece to look like it's made by human beings, not by a machine. So the hand of the artist is very important in something like this. We also pick stainless because it has some very nice properties with the light. If it's a hot, sunny day, the piece will look almost orange. If it's a cold winter day, the piece is going to look blue and green and very cold. So stainless is a really great material that doesn't really need any maintenance. It's the right material, for me. Here comes our crane. These guys are going to be able to lift it up on the truck, and then we'll be away.
Today's the final stage, so it's being loaded onto a low loader. It gets driven up to the city. There are restrictions on the times we can work. The sculpture will be lashed to the lorry for the transport. We've got to be there once the rush hour's gone, so we're installing at 10 o'clock at night.
When the piece is on a truck, even a low-boy tractor trailer like that, it's still too high to go under most of the railway bridges coming into London. They figured a route that did not have to go under any bridges, and we drove slowly and carefully with an escort right in front.
When it gets to site, it'll be lifted, raised onto the area above the plinth.
These guys are terrific engineers, and to move something that's 3 or 4 tons that carefully and have it fit that perfectly was quite amazing. What they did is they lowered it down to make sure it was perfect, and then once they had it exactly right on all 3 legs, they lifted it up again, they put in the epoxy, and then they put it down for good. we are, I guess we're almost midnight, and we've finally done. It's the culmination of a lot of work. I feel I'm really lucky to be a sculptor and have the opportunity to do something like this, and this is what we live for. I think I've never had a better relationship, with between the fabricator, the developer, and myself. I mean, it really worked out very well.